I'm Andrea Romano. I'm the voice and casting director for Justice League Doom.
You're coming to this with the old team, getting them all back together, and you're tackling this very highly regarded piece, but based on the Tower of Babel by Mark Waid. Were there any great challenges to bring to your acting ensemble as far as bringing this piece to life? Any particular challenges that presented to you?
It's always an awesome responsibility to bring any piece that's a fan favorite, that fans really like, and do it in a way that they will appreciate it and say, okay, that's a good job. And so I take that responsibility very seriously. I have the benefit of working with really wonderful actors, and to bring them back into a project where they know the characters so well from years of production before, that makes my job a little bit easier. At the same time, we want to challenge, stretch, do something different, do something more, and it's such a fascinating story about how to find the foibles and the weaknesses of each of our superheroes and getting them all together and have them all be attacked at the same time, and where did this come from and how did this happen and who has to fight who to win and how do we make this work. It was an interesting challenge, and I'm happy when it works.
This is our first time seeing it tonight. This obviously the premiere. Congratulations.
Thank you very
on
much.
That. Was there any particular performance you'd like us to call out on and watch, pay attention to as we're watching, or is this something where you can't pick your favorite child?
Well, that's always the case, is I can't pick a favorite child because I'm one of 8, so I'm very cautious of making sure I don't do that. But what happens a lot of times in the Justice League stories is no any one character gets a lot of attention because we have to really address all the characters. What's really nice about this piece is that Batman gets a nice chunk of acting to do because Batman is quite a catalyst in the story. And so Kevin and I have a relationship for so many years, and to be able to come back into a Justice League story where Kevin gets to really show his acting chops is grand.
We'll be paying attention to it.
All right. Just a couple of questions for you. You're playing a character, Vandal Savage, sorry, a character that is pretty well known to the regular fanboys, the guys who read comic books, the guys who've seen your movies before, but not to the general public maybe. What do you think about this character? How did you prepare for him, and what do you bring to the screen to make us love this guy?
Or hate him? Well, I'm glad that you love or hate him, because either way, it's evocative, and that's what we want. We don't want this head. That's not a great response to your performance. But I had done Vandal a few years ago for Justice League, and then he was much more of a smooth, kind of lyrical. There was far more music in him than there is now.
Yeah.
Now he's kind of like, I've got the answer. It's going to happen. I've been waiting, and I don't care anything about these people. He doesn't even care about his own fellow villains. He's a harder, meaner, edgier Vandal, and I kind of like that. And that's what Bruce Tim and Andrea Romano wanted from me. They were not married to what you did in the past. Let's make him a little tough, make him a little down and dirty. So that's the kind of Vandal you have.
I was looking at your biography and all the stuff that you've done. I know everybody wants to ask you about the Smallville or anything, but I went right to the bottom of the list and saw that you're in the original Star Trek. Tell me about that, because that's legendary, right? And how often do you get to talk about it? That's great.
It's great pop culture stuff. I've been part of some amazing pop culture shows, and I've been very fortunate. That particular show, Miri, is the episode, was a stunt cast. I was in it, my sister Iona was in it, and so were the Shatner kids, and so it was all the offspring of actors and actresses that were on the line. It was a lot of kids who were well behaved on a set, and knew how to take care of themselves on a set, but weren't actors. So who better than the offspring of other actors? We've been on the set, we know when to shut up when the red light comes on, what action means, we know what cut means, but we didn't really know what acting was. So what you see is a bunch of young kids running around acting like kids, and that's what they want, and that's what we want.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. Yeah, one last question, because I'm a personal fan of yours, Jackie Chili's.
Thank you.
Can you give us a couple lines?
Poor Jackie said, if Vandal needs an attorney, and I believe he will, for a long time to come, you know my number.
Nice.
I'm Kevin Conroy, and I do the voice of Batman, and this is the new film, Justice League Doom.
You're being awfully modest here. Not only are you the voice of Batman, who most fans consider the definitive voice of Batman, and the gold standards which every other actor's performance seems to be measured against. Even Christian Bale can't seem to escape it.
He's an amazing actor.
I was wondering, there's actors like Christian Bale out there who put their stamp on the character, and there's other actors like Adam West, who's going back over the history of plenty of people who have brought different elements to the character. you want to be most remembered for in your performance of Vandal? What stakes do you want to put on that character?
That's a very interesting question. Let me think about that. I guess I would want to be remembered for what I think is the most important aspect of Batman is the outsider. That's why the audience relates to him. Everyone has a sense of the outsider in themselves. And he's the embodiment. He's not just the outsider of society. He's the outsider of the Justice League. He's the outsider of the rich set and the street set. And he's the outsider to himself. And, he is the embodiment of the other. And I think that's why people relate to him so. And I'd love it if the sound that I produced and the emotion that I brought to the character embodied that would be a success.
Well, he's certainly an outsider here in Justice League 2. He's gotten, there's a situation that arises because of some cautious preparations he's taken. With that, the scenes that you had to do, where he's interacting with the Justice League, as they're discovering what's going on, and his position into that story, not to spoil it for anybody who hasn't had the opportunity to read it.
I don't know what to say,
Were there any challenges that were presented in trying to act with the ensemble as far as portraying the complexity of those moments?
Yeah, definitely, because you want to work as an ensemble. Actors are always instinctive to want to work. And yet you're playing the guy who's not part of the ensemble. By his definition, he's the outsider. So it makes performing him unique and complicated. It's probably the most complicated aspect of doing the role is the psychology of it.
Do you see him as a light character, a dark character, or is that an oversimplification?
It's an oversimplification, but if I had to pick a color tone, I would say definitely dark, way dark. But he, in the performance of Bruce Wayne, and I think that the performance for him is Bruce Wayne, he plays with light. He's playing with light colors. He knows how to work in society. That's why he's so successful as a businessman. But to him, it's working it. It's performing.
There's certainly a different tone you bring to your voice when you're doing the Bruce lines versus the Batman lines.
I hope so. I mean, absolutely. Because it is a performance. But just the way we all perform in our daily lives. In social situations, don't you behave differently? I suppose so. You do it everybody does. And the more effective you are at it, the more successful you are. And Bruce Wayne's the most successful guy in Gotham City. So think of how successful he is at it.
Right. Well, Kevin, it's been a pleasure talking to you. We're huge fans. Thank you for your time. Good luck and congratulations on the release. Thanks a lot.
You each have a personal vendetta against the Justice League. Their deaths would serve my goals. You've all tried and failed to kill members of the League on multiple occasions.
Everybody take what you can and get out.
It's the Justice League.
Say goodnight, Ace.
Savage has foolproof plans for how we can destroy them.
Kryptonite bullet.
I will pay you $100 million after you destroy the Justice League.
Take them down.
Pick a card. Any card.
Before, I broke the bat. Today, I break the man.
Welcome to the Legion of Doom.